Well, hello highly esteemed viewers, it's your buddy and longtime friend Magonza, and this video will be addressing the upcoming game Injustice 2, as long as with a very brief touch on the Combat Pack 3 for MKX, because that, seeing as how the balance patch just came out, you know, most of us avid MK fans were a little disappointed in that there won't be a Combat Pack 3, or at least there hasn't been any real news of it. But you know, this really does make sense judging from the recent pattern of having a 2-year game cycle. You know, MK9 came out, and 2 years later Injustice came out, and 2 years later MKX came out, and here we go again. 2 years later, 2017, Injustice 2 is scheduled to come out in March, both for the PS4 and Xbox versions. Now, if you don't know what Injustice is, I'm just gonna quickly summarize it very quickly with no spoilers, because I'm just gonna say what's in the first 5 minutes, you know? Essentially, in the Injustice storyline, or the New 52 if you're looking at the comics, you have these two realities, two alternate realities of the DC universe. One is where we have, it focuses on Superman basically, and his changes as a character. In one universe, we have the normal Superman who wouldn't kill, who doesn't cross that line. He is the Boy Scout. He is in tune with his powers, his morality, his conscience. He just won't do it. In the other one, Joker does manage to blow up Metropolis, I think with the help of Lex Luthor. I can't remember that specific detail, but I know he blows up Metropolis and he convinces Superman that Lois Lane is Doomsday through a narcotics device. And as you can guess, Superman goes pretty hard on Doomsday, and he was no slouch against Lois Lane. It resulted in her death. He came back down. Batman tried his best to stop him, couldn't, killed Joker, and this is where we see the beginning of him as High Counselor of Earth, and he has become this tyrant, causing all kinds of bad juju on the city and the world. And these two realities come into, you know, they cross paths, and that's how Injustice sort of takes off. I won't spoil anymore. Just know that Injustice 2 takes place right after the end of Injustice 1. It's a continuation. So if you haven't played the first one, I recommend looking at a story video of it. If you can't find one or whatever, and you don't want to watch another one, just let me know, and I'll be happy to run through it myself, honestly. Because I will need to sort of revisit the first Injustice before playing second. It's a good idea, because most of the mechanics look like they remain the same. Anyways, now that we're through with a brief summary of Injustice, let's focus on what's new about Injustice 2. In the past few days, there have been several sources revealing new little tidbits, along with the showcase at the EGX thing. First off, the roster, it hasn't really had an expansion. We're still looking at the same 28 characters that we have been looking at. However, one source does say, I'm not sure if it's speculation or it's confirmation, but John Constantine, Darkseid, Red Hood, Captain Cold, and Swamp Thing. Now, see, most of these characters are generally supporting characters, especially like John Constantine. He helps Batman in the Injustice storyline in the alternate universe where Batman is the insurgency. Red Hood is a very popular cult classic Batman villain, because he's originally someone else that I won't spoil, because there's a whole game that it's devoted to that mystery, even though it's not really a mystery. Darkseid was a level interaction in the last one. Captain Cold is a relatively underwhelming Flash villain, and Swamp Thing is Swamp Thing. You know, can't really get past that. So we don't know if that's legit or not, but they could make appearances in the game nonetheless. So that is something we can look forward to. Lots of new information about new single-player modes in particular. The focus this time in the news reveals was the single-player modes, seeing as how there wasn't much detail about it. It's just a mysterious cooperative ability in single player modes. That would be interesting, whether they go for sort of a side-scrolling beat 'em up. I was thinking it'd be cool if you had a I don't know if it is the pitfall stage in MKX. If you look closely in the background, there's another fight going on at the same time. I just thought that would be a cool little throwback to the MK series if they did cooperative fights like that or something. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from that. It could be a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Who knows? Who knows? They just kind of threw that out there to make everybody be fanboying and fangirling over it. Other stuff that could happen, you know, a revamped Star Labs mode. The last one wasn't too bad. It was a bit monotonous. It kind of dragged on, you know, and it didn't do much to explore individual characters. That's something that they could probably improve upon. And judging, this is just my speculation, judging from the fact that there's a loot system now, there could be sort of like a throwback to a test your luck variation. I mean, think about it. It would be cool if, you know, your loot got like randomized right at the start of a match, and you know, instead of there being modifiers or whatever, they could be that. Or they could even have the modifiers, because in their last Star Labs they did a pretty good job of making ridiculously annoying things fall on the stage and whatnot. So they're obviously good at it. Might as well just go all the way. Go big or go home. Multiplayer is the last thing that they're trying to make sure that nobody goes crazy in overthinking it. It's a very, if you've played Destiny, you kind of know what they're going to go for. You're either going to get the very traditional multiplayer competitive experience like Crucible, where, you know, your customized armor is only meant for aesthetics. That's all it really is. It's just, you look cooler, but everything's the same. Your base stats are the same. And the other one will be sort of an Iron Banner-ish mode, where your gear really does make a difference. This is inherently unbalanced. They already talked about that. It's more meant for just fun, you know. It's just have a good time. This is the part that where you know, your hours and hours of grinding in the game can pay off if you're devoted enough. You know, as far as news goes, that's pretty much the crux of it. There hasn't been too much in unveiling process. However, I did quickly want to mention one of the sources that I was looking at. I do believe it's Gaming Guide. What's spelled, or Gaming Guide. I don't know. One of the pictures that I'm going to put up on the screen right now shows an MKX footage going on the screen, and then the caption for it says, or mentions Combat Pack 3. It mentions that it could be launched along with the Injustice 2 launch, which, you know, this is the first I ever heard of it, and the text was tiny, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But if you're like me, you're hoping. Fingers crossed, and my MK heart just can't take it no more. Let me know what you think about Injustice 2. Let me know if it intrigues you. Also, if you haven't played the first one, I'd highly recommend it, because it looks like the second one is going to be very, very similar. But I'm sure you've heard this time and time again. Well, yeah, if you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. I do plan on keeping tabs on this game, not as much as other channels, but, you know, every time there's a big development, sure, I'll throw it in the day. It's always nice to know as much as you can. Well, yeah, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope this video finds you well, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.